I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ. Joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Bill. Good morning.
And Dr. Douglas Thomas is on the line, joining us from the left coast, the west coast. What is going on, good doctor? Where in the world is Waldo?
Portland, Oregon.
What's going on in Portland? You got a Nike
yes,
event out
indeed.
there.
Yep, Nike football.
Yo, I know this is like not high priority for you, but when you go to the Nike store, if they have a 14, I'm just saying, bro, can you bring your boy back some shoes?
Yeah.
I promise you. That's the only thing, you know, people always be like, oh, E getting all the shine. E like, oh, we a family, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cares who gets the credit. One thing I do get tight about is everywhere he go, he swear they'll never have no extra large. He swear they'll never have a size 14. And he come back with a treasure trove of stuff for his little small frame, and ain't never got nothing to get somebody straight who over 6 foot.
Hey.
And that.
See, we good now. Hey, we good now, see, because all his stuff got to fit downstairs, so he ain't got no more space.
I should just go shopping on the rack, the clothing rack.
Yeah, we good now.
I promise you, that's the only thing I've been getting tight about. Is like, E like, oh, see, we went down there. I'm like, bro, you done came back.
I never went shopping, they just give me stuff.
I'm talking about, E probably got more clothes, like from teams and sports and all, than you could even wear in 10 lifetimes. All I ask is to get an extra large or a size 14. Ain't seen one since.
That's why they got to travel with me. When you talk about, I don't even know that, the equipment managers are the meanest people in the world. You think they own the clothes. You think that their kids went to school off the clothes. I promise you they don't barely want to give you nothing. So, yeah, Carl gets some of my stuff because he can, you know what I'm saying, we close to the same
Hey, so
side.
you know that, hey, Carl, you know that commercial when she like, so next time just tell him you wear a 14. You know that commercial where my man be like, yo, I'm in the 20. And he just walk around the mall with the shoes on. Yeah, just start telling them you a 14. When they be like, yo, E, what size you need? You be like, yo, I'm like a 14.
Hey, well, no,
like,
here's the problem.
5'7"?
They ask Tay before I get there, and Tay tell him I'm a 10. I don't even wear a 10. So I got a pair of shoes that was
so we got to get to the blame. We got to get to the source.
So yeah, y'all just got to start traveling with me, and then go to the store and just tell them, give y'all a coupon for the store.
It's a new travel schedule with your wife going everywhere now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how Didi would feel about me sleeping on the pullout in the hotel
I don't
bed.
think she'd have a problem.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if that's something. Hey, listen, I got into a police chase this morning. The police was chasing me. So check this out. And I promise you, everybody was like, yo, see, you got these crazy stories. I just really just report back on my life and what's going on. But check this out. There's a police chase. I'm not making this up. I told Candace about it this morning. She was like, yo, you got to tell it on the podcast. I was like, I didn't even think about that, but you're right, I will. So, all right, so I'm coming from the gym, right? Same light where the chicken was, right? This time I'm turning, right? And I'm turning in this small, you know them stoplights that's like, come on, man, like nobody really about to stop at this light. Like it's only one way in, like one side is just like blocked. So it's like, you know what I mean? Just like they only coming out of like a driveway or something. So I'm going through the light and, you know, I'm in a Suburban. So it take a little while to get underneath the red, you know. So I was driving, and then you know how you look up just to say, oh, I was a little late. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie, I was a little late. So you look over to see if the police are there, right? You just, this natural reaction like, oh, I was, you know what I'm saying? I was a little tight on that light. So I look over and sure enough, it's a SUV police truck, like 4 cars deep in the thing. I'm like, shoot. So I'm driving, I'm like, shoot, hopefully he turning the other way. So I'm, of course, now looking in my mirror because I know I'm a little foul, right? So I look up and I see my man, and I'm not gonna lie, he's heading my direction. And it looked like he getting on the gas. So I'm like, shoot, like he start like dodging around the cars that turned in front of him. So I panicked and I was like, shoot. I was like, what can I do? As I look up and I say that, I'm at the kid's school, right? Like their school is right here. Now he might be about 15 car lengths back. So I seen the school, so I was like, skirt. So I turned into the school and pull in and park and jump straight out, right? at the kid's school. I already dropped Trey Avery off earlier in the morning. So my man, I like side eye look him, and he looks at me, and he turns and goes and parks. This is like a elementary school across the street or a middle school or something. He goes and parks with his headlights facing towards the kid's school, right? So he's facing towards the kid's school. So now I'm in a dilemma because I jumped out quick. And I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, okay, you got to fully commit to this thing and go in the school now, right? Because I know what he's thinking. He like, dude just saw me coming. So he turned into a random school. And now he's getting out the car trying to act like he's going to school. I'm going to wait him out. So I'm like, shoot. So as I start walking into the school and I'm like, okay, now, you got to like buzz in at the front and, the secretary's tent right there. I know they about to be like, Mr. Quinny, what are you doing? Good morning. Right? So I'm like, shoot. So as I'm walking, I'm like, oh, you know what? I could get Avery's car seat, right? Like I could just get her car seat and be like, yo, I got to take the car seat to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like she picking the kids up today. So boom, right as I got to the door handle, I got it. I went in, said hello. Went in, got the car seat, came out strolling, whistling like I ain't even have a clue. He's across the street with the car seat in hand. My man looks at me and dips and takes off the other way. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. My man was ready to go to work. I know he was ready to pull me over and be like, oh, no, I saw you run that light, then you pulled into the little kid's school, and then you left with nothing. What were you doing? He was ready to bust me, but I caught him slipping, and I won the war, man. So I felt pretty good about that. I was a little excited, and yeah, no, I'm happy about that. So anyway.
Hey, they call it Wednesday.
Hey, it is definitely a win, no ticket. Because I told you I just got a ticket. So I'm like, I don't need another ticket. Like, man, I hadn't gotten a ticket in years. And all of a sudden, they're trying to catch me riding dirty. Real quick, we haven't done a segment in a while. And I don't know if you guys, did you have any announcements or anything pressing that you wanted to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, before I go in, because I'm about to go into the topic, and I didn't give you a chance to talk about your flight out to Portland. You know what I'm saying? What was the meal on the flight?
It was a
and
turkey
did you blow it out with the
croissant with pickles.
Turkey cheese croissant with pickles. Yeah. But you want? Let's talk about that
I thought
first.
you hit into vegan.
I see you on the gram and you got all this vegan stuff, and now you talking about turkey. You didn't eat the turkey though.
Oh, I smashed.
I thought you. What? Now this is a new vegan diet. I'm not too versed on if you can eat turkey on the vegan boy.
The turkey was grass fed.
Oh, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but I'm supporting my wife, who is trying to reverse her MS. So my wife is, on it heavy. So my wife is kind of like, when you eat bad, I eat bad. So when we travel and I hit, Dallas and get the little sticky wings, my wife like, I'm gonna get the sticky wings.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to do is support my wife. So I'm like 90%, but they did ask her. She was upset. She was like, y'all had nothing veggies. Like, you can order veggie, you know what I'm saying, 24 hours before. So she was like, oh, okay. So my man was like, I'm like, bro, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we stuck on this plane for the next 4.5. I'm 100% with the turkey boy. So no, I'm just trying to support my wife. She always says when we go on these road trips, she picks up weight.
Yeah, and, that's the worst.
Whatever, because we gone for 5 days and we eating, just whatever. The fanciest restaurants or whatever. So yeah, no, I'm just trying to support my girl. So once we hit the ground and we get going, I'm definitely hitting vegan. And here's my deal. If they have vegan and it's good, I just like to eat. So if it's real food, I'm gonna eat. So yeah, when we went to New York, I hit the vegan restaurant every day.
Part-time.
I'll be hitting it here. But if we get on the plane and she didn't call 24 hours in advance and get the veggie boy, I'm gonna eat unless she packed me a sandwich.
Hey, first time to Portland, right?
Ever, yep. Well, I shouldn't say that. I went to Eugene. You talk about win the day, the Oregon Ducks. I spoke there before, so I think I flew here and then drove the 2 hours up. But I've never really been in Portland.
Or tell Clyde Drexler we said hello. That's all I know.
I ran into
you know what I'm saying?
I ran into one of the coaches
Damian Lillard.
From Portland yesterday. I was walking downtown area and I ran into one of the coaches. He was like, yo, we've been trying to get you to Portland. I'm like, oh, okay. So I got his number, so we'll see if he's serious. I'll be here next year.
Let me tell you something. Portland gonna need a whole lot more than ET to get right with the Warriors out there on the West Coast. So we
and
shall
the Lake
see.
Show. And the Lake Show.
But no, you know what's crazy? We actually had a little vegan experience the other day. You know, Sko is down here. Of course, Sko is one of Jalen's best friends who also works with the company, and he was down here. And you know, he's vegan. So Sko, you know, we had taco night the other night, and Sko came. You know, he had the veggie, like, you know, the vegan boy going. So I don't even know what it was that he was over there cooking up. I had my original problem with it is the fact that I ground down. We had the ground turkey or the ground beef, I can't remember, and it had a little juice to it. But Sko's was like at the bottom of the pan was just dry. I'm like, bruh, there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because he ground it down and it was still dry as a bone. So anyway, he made his tacos, and so Candace, you know, she on a huge health kick too. So she like, Sko, let me try one of the vegan ones. So she tried it. She's like, oh, it's good. I can eat vegan. Da, 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 da. So then, of course, you know, they go like, CJ, you gotta try it. So I'm like, cool. I went and tried it. And I'm like, Sko, here's my problem. It is good. I give you that, but I don't taste nothing in it but vegetables. So it's like a veggie taco. Like the little thing he put the tiniest amount of little veggie meat at the bottom. Then it was avocado, hummus, onion, tomato, lettuce, the whole thing. I'm like, bro, I don't even taste the meat. So if you want to just say, how does the veggie taco taste, then cool. But don't try to pass it off as meat substitute when I don't even taste the meat. So my wife liked it though, so I'm sure we'll be vegan by next week.
And so, I'll be honest, if you're in Atlanta, you probably do have some options. You know, it's just like living in Lansing, but I don't think there's not a lot of options.
Oh, let me tell you something. Me and Jay Bug, we went strong on the jerk chicken last night. Though. We went hard.
He sent me some photos like, Dad, next time you in the A, I'm like, okay, but just don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't show your mom.
She's solid. And it's called Dat Fire Jerk Chicken.
Oh,
D-A-T.
Wow. Oh, no doubt.
D-A-T. So you know they got the hook.
Hey, very specific marketing. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, Didi reversed the MS. I reversed the vegan meal I had the night before.
What trying to do.
I just reversed that whole joint.
No,
that's serious though. You know, and I'm proud of you for helping her along that journey because you're right. Now I'm gonna be real. When my wife eating crazy, it don't affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I promise you it don't.
She could, you know, if she was eating and I was on some special diet, she could do her thing. I'm not tempted by that. Either I'm gonna go there or I'm not. But you 100% right. If you at all indulge, they coming right over to the dark side.
No pressure. So, no pressure.
Yeah. So no, man. Well, good. Keep us up to date on how the vegan life is going.
I'm gonna just keep posting when I find something sweet.
Wait, when do y'all go to the health and wellness facility? Isn't that coming up, or y'all still going or not?
Hey, see, I'm in for the ride. 1 week. You know what I'm saying? 1 week, you know how it is. I'm going for the ride. So if we do, I'm there. I'm going to be very disciplined, do my thing. I'm not going to try to sneak and go up 2 miles up the road and get a bag of Cheeto Puffs and a Coke. I'm going to try to be diligent and do my thing. But, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. See, but the vegan boy is working for now. So I'm just excited that we sticking with something.
Carl and your folks are back and doing well, and they still reaping the benefits from the trip.
Yeah, they're holding on. I'm struggling a little bit. I didn't think it was possible, but I'm losing a little more weight than I bargained for. They're strict on it, man, and you can see their energy is up, that kind of stuff. But you hungry a lot. Let me just put it like that. You hungry quite a bit.
No question.
Yeah, no, yep. Well. Maybe when I get up there, your father will cook me a nice, because you know my pop's going the other way with it. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Sr. going the other way with it when I get up to Michigan, man. I promise y'all, man, I'm to the point where I'm like trying to get myself mentally prepared. But bruh, it's something about leaving the house. And now the good thing is, praise God, my family is coming with me. But I just realized the other day, we leave on Friday, and I don't think we'll be gone for like 3 weeks. I'm like, yo, that's a long time to be gone. So luckily I got, you know, Kel and them here, you know, at the house, you know, just because, you know, get the house open, but, you know, we'll have somebody here. But just 3 weeks with the babies and everything else, man, just the schedule's just crazy. Yeah, man, I always do a little anxiety before with these long trips when you got to put your family on the road for that long. But we got to do what we got to do, man. Shout out to Josh, who's getting married next week. Yep. So that's big time. I think, what is that, a week from? Yeah, a week from
today.
Tomorrow, I think.
From tomorrow, from tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, you got a new shirt. Praise God. Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah, no, I'm definitely ready. And let me tell y'all this. I forgot all about it, and I just seen it on my phone. Guess where I'm going tomorrow?
Where at?
I'm going to a Tony Robbins conference.
Oh, no questions asked. Yeah, no questions asked.
I'm going to the Tony Robbins conference.
Make sure you learn something.
And so Josh is coming in town. Josh and his fiance, soon to be in a week, wife Carrie, said that they were coming in town for the Tony Robbins Gary V event. And you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm coming too. So I'm taking a day off tomorrow and I'm going to learn, man. And so I'm excited about it, just to see how they do their thing, man. I've never been to an event with Tony Robbins. I've never seen him speak live. Definitely a huge fan of his work and what he does. And, looking forward to see how they run their operation, and I didn't try to call anybody. Of course, we know a lot of people in this industry and get backstage passes or anything crazy like that. I just bought, tickets, and I'm going to sit in the crowd and check it out and, see what they're doing. If we're going to catch them, we got to have an idea of what's going on. So I'm looking forward to going to that event. Yeah.
I was going to say, buckle up. This is one of them times where, like, you went to Australia and I didn't go. C about to go to Australia and we ain't going. So buckle up. When he get back, it's about to get ugly.
Not for y'all, but for some other folks, I promise you, it will get ugly quick. So, no, I'm looking forward to having a good time, man. I'm looking forward to learning some new information. Of course, we produce so much and we put out so much into the world, and we spend a lot of time creating our own stuff. It's good to learn, man, and I'm excited about going and learning. I'll bring the sneak report and all the information to the podcast next week. And of course, man, the next few podcasts after today will actually be together. So I'm excited about that because we'll be able to do a couple live joints. We'll put them on YouTube so y'all can go check them out, the video versions. I think we're going to do next week our first ever live podcast with a live audience. So that'll be dope. Y'all get a chance to see how that goes. So we're looking forward to that. All right, cool. Now let's get to the business. I was reading this article, right? And it was about two of my favorite people in the world, and their relationship has come to an end. And I was like, wow. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like, they've been together for a long time. I think like 20 years, 15 years, something crazy like that. Wow. And, they calling it quits. And those two are Mike and Mike. And I was like, and I was reading the article, and I'm like, okay, maybe they just, time to make some shifts and, whatever. But it actually sounds like it was a bit of a fallout. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, yo, Mike and Mike been rocking for a long time, right? I'm like, yo, like, think about how long, for real, I get up in the morning before I had kids, getting ready for the gym, whatever, turn on Mike and Mike, see what they talking about. And they've been together for a grip, man, and they're leaving. And I read the article, and it was like the transcript of like when they made the announcement. And apparently people have known for, quite some time that the breakup was coming, and one of them was kind of on board and the other one was kind of like, what are you doing? And I was like, wow, and it got me to thinking, one, I want to do a segment that we haven't done in a while, and it's One Gotta Go. And I had a couple dynamic duos that I wanted to shout out, and we'll figure out which one gotta go. But then I want to talk about the dynamics and the complexities that would allow two people who have built so much and had so much success together, made a ton of money together, everything you think you could possibly want, but yet and still, there comes to this bitter breakup. And so, real quick, let's do One Gotta Go first. And now this was just off the top of my head and, my world or whatever. And if y'all got a better duo, we can throw them in there as well. But One Gotta Go. All right, let's start with Mike and Mike, which was a solid duo for years. Of course, Jordan and Pippen. Jay-Z and Dame Dash. One Gotta Go. Who gotta go?
So I'm not going to touch Pippen and Jordan. I'm going to lead them there.
For sure.
Okay.
So out of the other two,
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because Jay and Dame, they created a lot of magic together.
Yeah, it's
made multi-million dollars from the streets. Just two dudes with a dream and a vision. They made it happen. So I would say, I don't know, but Mike and Mike, man, they just been a staple. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna go Mike and Mike only because they are. I'm saying ESPN is ESPN. It's so like you gonna get that content in another way if you get what I'm saying. Like that'll be mine because I can still get that information. You know what I'm saying? There's about a million other ESPN shows, Sports Center, whatever. I can still get that content, but what the others have done historically, I gotta rock with them.
See?
So you don't say Soulja Boy ain't done enough where you don't necessarily need Jay-Z. Future hadn't done enough on his own.
Hey, so Candace hit me with one this morning because I was like, when I was thinking about this, I was like, who else? And she was like, what about Venus and Serena? And I was like, I'm like, are they like a duo though? Like,
not really.
I
but
guess.
Yes. I mean, they did doubles.
Yeah, I was
together.
like,
they did doubles. Of course, they've done the Olympics together. You know what I'm saying? So.
But there's still so much individual success. You know what I'm saying? Like when and I guess the same thing could be said with Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Once they, went their separate ways, there was a lot of individual success, but they built the success.
Well, no. Venus and Serena built their tennis together. Like it wasn't separate.
That's true.
They built it together. You know what I'm saying? They was only playing against each other. Period. Like they weren't really going to the traditional camps and doing all that stuff. Like they trained each other, if you will.
Yeah, no doubt. So, I mean, I don't know.
I have to go Mike and Mike. You know what I'm saying? And I go Mike and Mike because I never listened to him one time, Carl. I've never, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've never listened to him. You know what I'm saying? So
that's another good reason.
It wouldn't hurt me one bit.
Yeah, no doubt. It's personal. Okay, so then if we add in Venus and Serena and take out Mike and Mike, then who we got?
I got to go with Damon Dash and
Jay-Z.
Yeah, okay, so your top duo of all times is who?
Venus and
Let's just
Serena.
say that real quick.
Yeah, Venus and Serena for sure. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen for sure. I mean, in terms of that light, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something outside.
What about fictional? Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that's where I was going. See, Batman and Robin. Ooh.
Barney and Fred. No.
Hey, that was
real quick.
That was a dynamic duo, bro. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, that was a dynamic duo. Yeah. And so
Abbott and Costello. I'm a lot older, but Abbott and Costello.
Oh yeah. I've never seen them, but I've heard the two together. Yeah. What about Barnum and Bailey? Who are they? They had the circus. I think it closed down. Going. So listen, and I'm bringing this up for a reason because it really did hit me. Like, it affected me, and I know a lot of people who now you guys are listening to the podcast, so you obviously are familiar with Carl. But, Carl will tell you, when we kind of built this company, it was always like CJ and E were like the Pippen and Jordan, Batman, Robin type thing. And like that was like what people used to say about us. And me and E always used to talk about, even like way back in the day, like, how, Jay and Dame, they broke up, man. They start making this money. And, eventually they had to go their separate ways. And, you look at, now Mike and Mike, they've been together longer than we've been together. And they're breaking up now, like, it's over, and so for me, it affected me, like, because I'm, we're human too, right? And we're not perfect. And so, although we'd like to think, man, we going, till we go to the grave,
That's what
there
Jay-Z
is,
said.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So there is that, not possibility, because I don't even like speaking death. Like, I'm not on that. You know what I mean? Like, we brothers, we built this thing together. We're going to see it, to the very end together. And that's how I feel. But then you look at, I'm sure it was a point when Mike and Mike thought that same thing, right? And so I'll be honest, just so people know, like, it hasn't, so it's been a process, one, and Carl can speak to this too, but like there are safeguards that I actually put in place and people don't even know. Like people think, oh, C don't have social media because he just don't want social media. He just want to focus on E. Part of that is true, but part of that is I looked at Dame Dash, just being real. Like I can only learn from my surroundings. And I saw when Dame Dash and Jay-Z fell out, Dame Dash like had started to become the star, right? And so that freaks me out. Like when people come up to me at conferences and want pictures and sign books and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for every one of our supporters. But that was something that I purposely safeguarded against because I saw what happened to Jay-Z and Dame Dash. And when Dame Dash was behind the scenes, making business deals, promoting Jay-Z, making sure they got, you know, everything straight financially, making sure the brand was moving and all of that, they were, I mean, you know, side by side, no issues. The minute Dame Dash got in the videos, you know, he had the women around him, the bottles, and he was like dancing in the videos and becoming the star, is when they broke up. And so for me, I was like, yo, if I have my own social media, if people booking me to speak all over the country, if I'm running around doing this and that, not only would I not be able to focus on what we said the goal was when we made this, you know, strategic shift, yo, it could be, you know, even it could be the thing that breaks us up. You know what I mean? Like, it could be the thing where, yo, I start getting the ego now. All of a sudden I'm getting booked on shows, and, you know, I haven't talked to E in 3 weeks because I'm on the road, he's on the road. And, you know, so I think it's a healthy fear that I've had, but I'm not going to lie. When I read this Mike and Mike article, and you guys can go look it up, but essentially it sounds like I said, one of them was kind of like, yo, what? You want to do what? And the other one had bigger aspirations of doing a solo thing. And I'm just like, wow, after, you know, how many years? And so it impacted me. Like, I read it, I think either last night, or like late last night or early this morning, I read it and I was just like, wow, like, yo, this thing is real. We ain't talking about rappers now and egos and money or, you know, whatever you would think. These are two professional dudes who've been doing it for a long time, and they couldn't stick it out. And so I guess I don't really have a question for y'all. Just kind of wanted y'all to speak on that, just in terms of, you know, our own relationships and kind of where we're headed and where we're going. And, you know, although we don't like to think about things like that, have you guys ever thought about, like, yo, what would happen if, you know, it didn't look like this in 5-10 years? I mean, we're all relatively young, right? Like, it's you know, Mike and Mike probably a little older than E, right? And so I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
So I remember, see, it hit me, this topic hit me a while back thinking about the Fugees. I remember the whole Lauryn Hill Wyclef thing. I was like, yeah, I mean, of course, that one was a sort of a different circumstance. But I remember having this.
It's still the same.
I mean, it's still the same thing, really. But I remember having this thought process like, yo, that's possible. Like, you come together and create something magical. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, it's like, yo, this thing could last forever.
Right. Or
and
30
then,
seconds.
you know, like you said, just one little thing, man. And you know what it is? It's usually something small. Like, it's not even like the bigger stuff. So when you mentioned the conferences, see, I remember one day I had a conversation. Forgive me if I go off a little bit, E, pull me back. But I remember somebody pulled me aside at one of the events and was like, man, I know C and E up front all the time and they don't recognize you as much, but man, I appreciate everything you do. Man, you a celebrity too. And I stopped the person like dead. Like, I was like, yo, no disrespect intended, but E and C on stage is me. So like, I'm not seeing it separated at all. So like you said, see, in terms of safeguards, like, I've tried to put in my mind, like, yo, this is one, and I try not to separate it. But like you said, stuff could happen. Like C said, I'm not saying we immune to stuff happening, man. But I think the good thing that we do have, and I was gonna say we communicate a lot, but so what? Like, I'll be honest, see, it's just a real fear. Like, stuff could happen. Our kids, you know what I mean? Like, it's beyond us too. It could be stuff that we can't even imagine. It could be kids, it could be whatever. I mean, I think I want to go on record and saying, like, right now, we good. I think we're good. Like, I mean, for life, till death, I think we're good. But, man, it's just a reality that you got to face. Like, stuff happens in life, and I don't know that you could always be prepared for everything.
Yeah, no questions. But see, I do, I had the experience that Carl had when I was in Huntsville. You know, I've always been a pretty, I guess you can use the word charismatic speaker. And so occasionally, you know, my pastor would ask me to speak. Now, there was, you know, when you talk about being in a large church, you have multiple men who covet the opportunity to speak, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's people chopping at the bits to speak. Now, one of the things I did to safeguard my relationship with my pastor is I never asked to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a rule of mine. See, I never asked for something. My mother used to always say, you know, invited guests are welcome best. So I've never asked, Pastor, you need me to speak? You know, I just served, you know, as an usher. You know, I created like that little department, you know, but I did have people that used to come to me and say to me, you know, like, yo, pastor gone, or, you know, pastor asked you to speak, and yo, you fire. Like, I ain't going here. And some people weren't like, you know, being messy, but they were like, yo, you better than pastor. Now, I didn't let that go to my head, like Carl said. You know, I wasn't like, yo, I'm better than pastor. Like, I wasn't even on that, because, you know, just being that I'm a Christian, I've seen this play out many times, you know, in the word. I've seen it play out in history, you know. So my thing was, hey, he asked me to speak. I did what he told me to do. It ain't no more in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be no pastor. I'm not trying to speak more. I was doing what he told me to do. Nothing more, nothing less. And so just in my brain, staying in my lane and not letting people and what people say, like Carl said, dictate my lane.
But here's the thing,
like,
though, and stay right there, and I'm not trying to interrupt you, but your lane sometimes changes and you evolve and you grow. And so what you were as the assistant pastor may not always be. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, people grow and evolve. So yeah, while that was cool for a season, you know, it doesn't mean you have to stay in that particular lane and maybe stunt your own growth forever.
But I think the danger, though, is you can't, if somebody put you in a lane, they also have to put you in the next lane, if that makes sense. And I think what a lot of people do wrong is you don't mind a person making you a 2, but then you piss when they don't make you the 1, and then you go out and try to be the 1 on your own. And so for me, that's another safeguard. If my pastor says to me, like, yo, I'm gonna need you to like go from being an usher to an assistant pastor. And then even if I felt in my spirit that I've grown to be a pastor, I'm still doing it, under his jurisdiction, if that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the person that was responsible for helping me to grow. So I'm not about to be like, yo, I'm on my own. Like, you see so many churches started, or so many nonprofit organizations start. You see a lot of stuff start, and people like, and I hope I'm saying this right. If I'm not, help me see. But they take the support of a person to get on when they weren't on. And then when they're ready to get to the next level, they don't need that person's support no more. And it's like, yo, you can't do that. It's like, if this was the person that got you going, just because they not saying, man, I'm telling you, I hate this with all my heart, bro. And I see it happen a lot with people that I have, you know, close relationships to, and people who call me a mentor. When I help you get to where you want to get to, but then I tell you something that you don't want to hear, then all of a sudden now, like, my instruction ain't
right,
good.
But let me
no
challenge you, though, because you're the same one who said Barry Gordy couldn't get Michael Jackson to the same level Quincy could get him to.
Absolutely.
So Mike left Barry Gordy because he had to grow even more. So it might have been he might have outgrown Barry Gordy's advice.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like, let's say, for instance, with Dr. June at Michigan State University. He hired me, right? He also gave me money for my second year in my master's program and set me up for the job, and then set me up for the position to get the PhD paid for, because I was working at the university. So we all know I left Michigan State, but I promise you, and I don't know if y'all remember, I wanted to leave a year early. And so I went to Dr. June, had lunch with Dr. June, and was like, Doc, I'm ready to get up out of here. Like, I just don't feel like this is the space for me anymore. He specifically said to me, y'all know how deliberate, you know, and intentional, how strategic he is. Like, he ain't quick to make moves. You know what I'm saying?
Turtle.
Like, he really thinks stuff through, right? And he said to me, give it another 365 days. Give it another, that's a long time. And you know the stuff that we had gone through. He said, give it another 365 days. And in 365 days, if you don't feel like you need to stay, then move. But I don't want you moving off of emotions, or you moving off the fact of your feelings of you don't like what's happening right now. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in a different space. So that's when we move down the hall. I promise you, that was the longest 365 days of my life. But after the 365 days, I went to him and said, I did what you told me to do. I waited a whole year, and I still feel like I needed whatever. And he said, my blessings be upon you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about not leaving. I don't know what happened with Barry Gordy, you know, and Mike. I'm not really sure what happened in that relationship. But I'm saying too many people, I think, have problems in relationships, because it's like, as long as C is telling me what I want to hear me and C on the same page. But the day C say to me, E, don't do this and don't do that, now I'm like, no, I'm bigger than C. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do whatever I want to do. And I'm not on that. Y'all know I'm not on that. There are things that you say, E, don't do that. And I'm like, what? I'm a grown man. Like, this is an idea I have. This ain't nothing but a t-shirt. And you're like, I know, but we're not going in that direction. I'm like, all right, cool. And so I think that's one of the safeguards people need to have. That doesn't mean that you need to stay under the tutelage of your mentor forever. But even when you separate, see, it shouldn't be ugly, because here's what happens. When you have people that separate ugly, sometimes one person, you know, evolves and goes to the next level, but the other person either stays where they are or fall behind. So even if we decided to split ways, part ways, because we are all essentially what it took to get us all where we are, then we still have to do it in a way that is a blessing to everybody, you know, and that's all I'm saying. So for me, man, one of my safeguards is know your lane. Stay in your lane. Like, know your lane, stay in your lane. And I just see too many people who get in a lane and then they get big time. And then all of a sudden they want to tell folk when they say, don't do this or don't do that, or think about this or think about that. They like, bump that. I'm out. I'm starting my own church, or starting my own nonprofit, or starting my own business. And I don't have nothing to do with you no more.
You know what's funny to me, see? Mm-hmm. You go through the hard stuff at the beginning. So it would seem like if you can make it through, I'm thinking maybe it's stuff that we're not exposed to yet that don't make sense now. You know, maybe we ain't big enough yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking you go through all the hard stuff the first year, the first 5 years, and you get through all that. Now you to a level of success. You know, things are going well. The plans
I think,
are
Carl,
going.
there's a big thing that comes into play. He touched on it a little bit, is that ego starts to come into place. You know what I'm saying? Like you start to get. You start feeling yourself a little bit more because you have had a level of success, right? So Carl, you might be like, yo, see, dog, don't call me with the directions, bro. Like, I helped build this thing too, where when I called with the directions before, it was just the lane that we were in, right? See, kind of run that, you know what I'm saying? You do that. But now you like, yo, I'm responsible for blowing this thing up. I came up with this, I came up with that. And so that could create a rift between us. And so I guess, it forced me to think about, our own, our relationship, and that I guess, we work, like, y'all know us, we work. I'm talking about every day, all day, we going after it, and rarely do, probably, not enough do we sit back and reflect, as much as we should. But have you ever thought about, and E, you've been with, you've had a whole nother team before. I think for Carl and I, maybe this is like our first marriage. You like on your second or third, where it's like you were rolling with people before. And I'm not going to say you got a divorce, but there were, let me ask you this. Were there times in your past relationships with, friends or crew or, your old Carl and CJ, where you thought for sure that you were going to be with them forever?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But understand, is what you said, see, we never separated or we never divorced in terms of our friendship. And that's what you see a lot of times with a lot of these different duos. You see graduation, L there, Lee there. You see the love that the family had. You see them there on the reg. You see Lee was there, every other week cutting everybody's hair. So the relationship, you see his sister.
Yeah, but it's not the same relationship though, for sure.
Oh, it's a better
well, I'm talking about in terms of closeness.
Just,
you know what I'm saying?
Together.
Like you're not talking to them every day. You know what I'm saying? They don't know your daily mood. Like you are well aware of what's going on.
Well, we're not talking every day because we're not conducting
business. Right. That's what I mean.
So the business part is not there. Yeah, but no. The relationship is as strong.
But I'm saying but here's what I'm saying. E, if me, you, and Carl decide to go our separate ways today, the relationship is not going to be the same. I don't even see it a way for it to even be better. Carl, help me out. Am I tripping or?
No, I can't see it. I'm being real. I can't see it.
Well, I'm saying, yeah. And I'm saying y'all can't see it because it's like you being with your wife and you saying, I can't see it, my wife ain't married, how we gonna be, whatever. But you see people who divorced who have a great friendship.
The exception though, not the rule.
Their families are hanging out, doing the family reunion. I'm just
Most
saying,
people I can't stand his guts.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying we have to stay away from, because I think what happens is people feel like because we can't do this, we can't do anything. And that's not the truth. So there are times where, you know what I'm saying, we need to make a move, you know. And L called the other day. Me and L had talked a couple weeks ago. It's like, yo, E, I think I'm ready to, you know, make a move to Michigan, and I think I'm ready to work with, you know what I'm saying, the crew again. I'm like, okay, cool. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's C now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not my role of responsibility. So we still have a very tight relationship. We still praying with each other. We still talking about each other's families and marriage counseling and kids counseling. We're just not doing business together anymore. And so that's what I'm saying. I think there's a way to divorce, you know, one without the other. But like you said, I have been in the game for a minute, and my stuff isn't on that. My stuff is, I think the difference between, you know, my relationship with them and you guys is that the what you're able to add in terms of taking me to that next level. And so for me, the danger is, another protector is like staying in my lane. And it's rough, y'all. For those of you who are listening, you got people 10 and 12 years younger than you, and you got your baby, and you have people who, if it's videography, Carl has the liberty to say, yo, E, I ain't like that, do that again. Like, bro, what I do is not, this ain't no script. So when I come from my heart, I feel like I came from my heart. Like, I don't measure my stuff like they do. Like, I came from the heart. Like, I never not come from the heart. And Carl might be like, yeah, you came from the heart, but not from the heart. But I don't know what that means. Okay, but you're going to have to do it over again. That's not easy. You know what I'm saying? That's not easy because I don't have nothing in writing and I got to do it again and just like inflect more. It don't work like that. Or with an idea, see like, nope, we're not going that direction, E. We're not doing this conference. We're not doing that. That's not easy, you know? And so I don't think it's an ego issue only. I think it's, again, staying in your lane. Just because I'm the CEO of this company doesn't mean I can travel in all lanes. It doesn't mean that. And I think that's where a lot of companies go wrong. It's like dudes feel like because they are the talent, and that's all I am. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that I don't bring other things to the table, but I am the talent. Like, that's what I am from a business standpoint. I am the talent. So I'm not necessarily the accountant. I'm not necessarily the visionary anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily the day-to-day operations, the recruiter, you know, the supervisor. I'm not that anymore. I'm the talent, and I understand what I am, and I do what I do well. I think what happens is when you're the talent and you know because of you, you know, opportunities are open up, streams of income are coming in. You feel like, well, because I'm the talent, now I have the right to go over to the legal department and tell them what to do too. And it's like, you don't have the right to do that. Just because you are the talent and you are blessed, you know, and there are some things that you can do for the company that maybe other people cannot do, you still don't have the right to do something that you're not gifted at. And I think that's one of the other problems, see, is this power struggle. Is just because I'm the CEO or whatever I am, you know what I'm saying, I have the right. Even with my kids, man, with my wife, like I remember going to different companies or different football and different programs, and they kids just talking to people any kind of way. They kids running up and down, you know, it's just like, it's like, yo, you got this power, and you giving your kids this power, and you disrespecting people or whatever you're doing, but you're letting the power get to your head. And that's one of the things I don't do. I understand where I'm powerful at. I understand where I'm gifted and talented at. And if I'm not, I just stay out the way and let the people who got us here continue to take us where we need to go.
Yeah, no, 100%. And Carl, I'll let you speak on it. I guess, like I said, you just feel a little vulnerable because one of the things that I've always kind of, you know, when I thought about it, like you take comfort in is, even though, you know, we had, you know, definitely some, especially me and E, that had some royal rumbles about where we're going, about not about where we're going, about how we get to where we're going, right? We've always had, you know, the vision in terms of what the actual goals were, and our core values have always been aligned. So I've always, you know, kind of taken comfort in knowing that, yo, even though E might not like some of the things I do, I might not like some of the things he does, you know, we taking different roads, but at the end of the day, we got the same, you know, pinpoint marked in the GPS. Like we're going to that same place. And so I've always, you know, felt comfortable with that. But then looking at a situation like a Mike and Mike, it just makes you feel vulnerable because, yo, they probably both had the vision of, yo, we're going to make this into the #1 sports talk show in the world. We're going to do this. We're going to have so much success. You know, we're going to make money. We're going to be able to, you know, get our input and our opinion out there. And they actually did it. And then to have a fallout after that long, and I just looked it up, is 18 years, right? So I think I've known E for 12, maybe 13. They did it for 18 years. and you know, weren't able to keep that. So I guess, I don't know, is that something that, maybe I'm tripping, does that even cross your mind? Like, yo,
all the time.
One, like, what would I do?
All the
you know, I
time.
thought about that the other day. I was speaking the other day at an event, and I was like, yo, my resume is hit. Like, yo, if I go to, I don't know what job you can be like, yo, I'm a former advisor and, you know, partner with a motivational speaker. Like that, I'm like, I don't know what else I'm qualified in this world to do but be the president of the ETA. But is that something, maybe Carl, let me ask you, is it something that you ever think about? And not like, again, you know, we always believe in, you know, speaking things into existence and, you know, having that positive mindset and, you know, wishing life and speaking life and not death and all of those things. But have you ever thought about like, yo, what happens if C go crazy, his ego get out of control, he just leaves the group, he's gone, E decides he's made enough money, wants to, you know, run the world with D and speak every 6 months. Like, have you ever thought about that possibility and what that would look like, feel like?
Very, very, very short, only because what you just said, like, I can't see life beyond it, and I'm not trying to be funny. I think the one answer that I have to it, see, is the thoughts that I did have, like, yo, if something ever go crazy with us, I'm packing my bags and taking my family to Barbados and going to the beach. That's the immediate answer I got. I promise you. That's the immediate answer I got. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I'm gonna go to the beach and we're gonna start figuring it out.
That sounds a lot better
than
me saying I'm going packing up my family going to Lansing.
Go to Lansing.
Shout out to my hometown, but good Lord, that sounds like a pretty day. I'm concerned now because Carl seemed to have a sweet backup plan. You know what I'm saying? My backup plan is nowhere near sweet as living my life in paradise.
But so
and you know, I want to say this as well because I do know, see, that there are some people who are going to be listening to this who are in this space, you know, and I think one of the ways that you safeguard yourself from anything like this is really having a plan, you know, and not overlooking stuff. You know, the elephant in the room, and I think we do a great job of that, you know. And there was a statement that Jay-Z made on his album. You know, he said, you know, to the extent that, you know, if you made a hove, make another one. You know, and that's a pretty powerful statement, you know. You know, that lyric came out of an experience, you know what I'm saying? Because you know Jay-Z and how, you know, how creative he is. So that came out of an experience. And so I always ask myself, you know, like, okay, E, you know, you hearing what he's saying, you know, if you made a hole, make another one. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm saying, E, you have to be very cautious about, how do you say it? Understanding what C means to the company, understanding what Carl means to the company, understanding what others mean to the company. And a lot of times, you know, like Carl said, you do have people coming to Carl, man, you this, that, whatever, especially before the podcast. So it's my responsibility to make sure that not only are you guys blowing me up, but that you hear from me and you hear from my family what that means and how grateful we are. You know what I'm saying? Because I think sometimes, see, when you blow up like we blew up, you almost start to take it, people can start taking each other for granted, if that makes sense. Sure. And so I'm not talking about being fake and just doing awards for the sake of doing awards, getting somebody some trophy just for the sake. I mean, I'm being real, like literally, and I think we do a great job of that, of not being fake or over the top, but I think we do a great job of like really staying in our lane, really valuing each other. You know, we got a trip coming up, you know, to Barbados, we've done Hawaii, we've done whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even when we do our own trips or our own conferences, we still away from the major group, you know, and spend time together. Our wives spend time together, you know, especially Didi and Tamisha because they're local. And again, for real, I make sure, man, with my kids, I got a son, you know, my daughter, I make sure that, you know, there's just some things that they're cautious of, some things that they're doing to show the team and ETA as a whole. Like, you know, when my kids go to an event, they don't get to walk around, you know what I'm saying, and act big time. Like Jada at the table serving too, you know what I'm saying? Jalen is serving too. I heard somebody tell me the other day that was like, yo, I watch your son like when nobody's watching him. Like I watched him when he don't know nobody's watching him, and I saw how he was taking care of a couple of people's kids, you know, and you could tell the kids loved him. He was having a genuine good time with them. So even to the extent of my family, see, you know, my wife ain't big time. Didi ain't getting off the plane like, yo, so, make sure everybody have my grape, you know, my grape M&Ms, you know, my Perrier water, you know, with the lime. Like my wife ain't big time. So I think it's important, not just with, you know, just ET, but my family as a whole, showing y'all through different means, whether it's birthdays or baby showers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we value y'all. We value the work that you do. We value the fact that we're living the way we're living because of what you guys do every day. And I think that's another big piece that a lot of CEOs or big, you know, people who are up in, you know, up in management, that they forget, like, these aren't slaves. You know what I'm saying? The individuals that work for you and grind for you, there's no way to pay them what they're worth. You know, but you have to find other ways to show them that value. And I think as long as people feel valued, and we're gonna make mistakes, and as long as it's open and people are honest, everybody knows how much we make sitting at this table. Everybody has access. Everybody's got the codes. You know what I'm saying? There's no place that this person can't go, that person can't go. You know, if C needed to sleep on the pull out for real in the grand suite, he's more than welcome to. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but for real, like, and what C was saying, like, you know, when we go on the road, it's like if I go on the road and every time I go on the road, I'm the only one, you know, that is acknowledged, and I don't acknowledge them, because I don't think Carl is looking for Nike to be like, thanks, Carl, we appreciate you. Nike they probably don't even know, you know, who Carl is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they not on that. They're not on looking out for the whole. They just like, okay, we need ET. Not that they even know about my life to the extent, or when I work with Under Armour, it's like, yo, we got a gig. We think you will be a phenomenal fit for that gig, but it's my responsibility to make sure my team knows how much I value them. So it's just a challenge to all the CEOs that are out there, and we're not talking money, you know, but make sure your people know, and make sure you're not lording your power over them. We share power in this company. I think Carl and I both will admit that C has the majority of it, you know what I'm saying? But the rest of it is shared amongst us.
Hey, I'm sorry,
you
lost me after you said M&M got a new grape flavor. I'm trying to figure out what the grape M&Ms is talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's new. That's something you only get in the Grand Suite, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, you get in the Grand Suite.
Over in the Motel 6, we don't have grape M&Ms yet. No, you make a good point. And the other thing, let's just not even remotely tiptoe around this, and it probably shouldn't have took us this long, is understanding how the money comes in and where the money goes. You kind of alluded to it, but like that is obviously one of the first things that'll break somebody up is who's getting paid what. How are they getting paid? How much are they getting paid? How often are they getting paid? Like, yo, money will be the first thing to turn people cold. You look at every group that ever existed, I think money was probably, you know, in 99% of the cases, you know, the thing that ended up, you know, tearing the whole thing apart. So, no, 100%, I'm with you. And
so let me ask this, see, I wonder, and I'm just thinking back of Mike and Mike again. Is it a possibility that their goal wasn't like the ultimate goal? Like in terms of
yeah. Oh, go,
you know what I mean?
Finish. Yeah, no, go finish.
So, yeah, I was
gonna
say. Okay, so they talked about building a show and whatever, and you get to this point now, you realize like, man, this is not the end of where I wanted to be. So it's like, you know, for myself as a person, like I know there's something bigger that I wanted to accomplish. So while we fell out or whatever, like it's a bit like if I had something bigger, like I mean, we talk about the Nobel Peace Prize. Like if we had something that huge that you know really is gonna take your whole life to get to, would that make it harder to break up? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that is a very real possibility. And like I said, I think more so, and I think they're trying to clean it up now, like, oh no, there's nothing wrong. But I mean, I saw kind of the way it unfolded on TV. It didn't look great. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with y'all in terms of, you know, having a bigger goal, and even if they didn't, if that was the end, it still seems a little bittersweet. It wasn't just like, hey, we don't want to court. Hey, listen, guys, look, hey, and look, by the way, just me just put this out for all the podcasts. If we ever break up, just know it was probably E or Carl who made the decision, because I don't plan on going nowhere. and I plan on riding this thing out. But just know E was finally like, yo, see, I'm good. Yeah, you've done enough,
appreciate
Carl.
you.
Well, I don't have enough power or stake to be through, so I'm told what to do every day, y'all. I just do concerts. I do appearances. So we ain't going nowhere then if the person with the most power say we ain't going.
That's it. It's a wrap.
If only it was that easy. But no, man, I do. I hate to even, when I was thinking about it this morning, doesn't it kind of give you the heebie-jeebies a little bit?
Sure.
Like it almost make you sick to your stomach. Like, wow, you know what I mean?
I'm saying not me, see, because it almost reminds me of the story you tell about your nightmares have to drive you. You know,
that's
for me,
real.
so for me, like I'm always thinking about it. I'm always, Puffy and Biggie, you know what I'm saying? The whole, Junior Mafia crew and where they are and where they aren't today, who's still where, you know what I'm saying? Like I always think about that. I've kind of, grew up in that era where you see people who, T.O., and McNabb, you know what I'm saying? I've kind of grown up watching that happen. And I've watched
first the Fat Boys. We must
like
acknowledge the first ones. First the Fat Boys broke up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Fat Boys broke up. Yeah. So I've had a chance to kind of witness that, and I don't like what I see, and so I think I wake up daily trying to do my part to protect us, because what we have is phenomenal, and I just don't think that you could get any higher. So yeah, you could probably split up and continue to, move on and be progressive, but the height of just building something together and still being together after all these years. And then look, not only have we been together for a while, like it's not the drugs, it's not I saw an awards, musical awards not too long ago, and there was some guys that was like, yo, we've been together for how many years? But when you think about what people have gone through, see the addictions, the loss, you know what I'm saying, just some of the decisions that people have made, it's like, yeah, you still together, but man, you went through so much, back, I know it's a movie, but like when you look at stuff like the 5 Heartbeats that was, based on a true story or elements of a true story, you look at what people have gone through, and I'm like, I'm just grateful we have gotten here without the drama. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't lost anything. It hasn't been a lot of drama. It's been a lot of life, and if we could continue to do this on this level, with the type of life that we're producing, yeah, it's enough for me to wake up every day and at least be conscious of make sure you're not responsible for tearing down what you guys build up.
Yeah, no, 1,000%, man, and we had to do this because, like I said, I wanted to acknowledge that it was, real, but I think you said the same, the right thing. We're conscious of it, and we wake up every day and try to affirm each other and try to make sure, everybody knows how much they're appreciated, and it's working for us thus far, man. And, what would happen to the could we still do the podcast at least? You know what I'm saying? We broke up.
Let's sign
a podcast.
Let's sign a prenup that we got at least do
prenup. No doubt. We got to sign the prenup. Shout out to somebody who decided to break up their dynamic duo and seemed to work out for both of them. KD won a championship and Westbrook won the MVP. And just thought about that. Breaking news just hit on my phone. I want the comments, the initial reaction from you guys. Chris Paul is officially joining the Houston Rockets.
Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. We worked with the Clippers this year, and CP and I got a little closer this year. And, so I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, yeah, that's huge. Yep, that's huge. Wow.
I think, again, it didn't it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? They did it a couple of years, so it's just that time to try something else on both sides, CP, the team, whatever.
But Houston, though?
Yeah.
But Houston?
They had a little playoff run.
Hey, man, we're going to Houston. We love Houston. They're probably going to win the championship, okay?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're coming to the H. I'm going to need y'all not to hurt our ticket sales for the live event, dogging they hoop squad. So, shout out.
No, I'm not dogging. I'm just saying, is that the piece they were missing? I don't know.
Well, let's just be honest. The Warriors got at least another 10 years straight of championships. And, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
For the sake of the league. Like, I love Draymond, but for the sake of the league, bro, I just couldn't. I can't take another three-peat. I saw Jordan do it twice.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's how the NBA is
it's
built
not
on
good for
dynasties.
It's like Alabama Crimson Tides winning.
I mean,
every
but
year. It's
the
not good
NBA's
for-
always been
it's not
built
good
on
for
dynasties.
football.
You think everybody won them in multiples, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Celtics back in the day, the Lakers, even the Bad Boys came in, won a couple. Lakers, you know, won a couple again with Shaq and them. So, you know, it seems like that's the way the
Spurs in
NBA
there
is
with a
built.
couple.
Spurs, you know, yeah. Even though Spurs been consistent. They didn't win all theirs in a row.
Pistons, come on. Can I get the Pistons?
I said the Bad Boys.
That's like the second one he said.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, I got you now. I ain't gonna hold you up now with Isaiah and Vinny Johnson.
Isaiah Thomas.
Alrighty.
Hey, and before you go, and in other breakups, Phil Jackson is breaking up with the Knicks, or the Knicks breaking up with Phil Jackson.
You know what? I was gonna say
I don't
something,
know
but
if it was
I'm gonna
really
teach on that this weekend. So
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Carl, I was actually gonna call you afterwards and teach on it. And for those of you who know, I love it because it adds to my theory of be
I know
specific.
exactly where you're going.
You already know. So I say I hate when people say, "Yeah, I'm a speaker." I'm like, what? That's like Phil Jackson said, "Yeah, I do basketball." Nah, bro, you coach. He was average as a player, great, phenomenal, Hall of Fame,
As a
legendary
coach.
as a coach, and terrible as a GM, president, whatever he was. He just got fired or whatever it was. But you see, even within a lane, it is important to be specific and master a certain lane.
Stay in your lane.
Yep.
See?
So
That's
no,
what I said,
100%,
stay in your lane and
100%.
don't think
You would think that it was a
don't let your
transferable
power
skill set,
tell
but it's
you-
not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Don't let your power tell you you have more power than what you really
yeah, no
have.
doubt. So all the game changers, we got a speaker training this weekend back at the crib. I'm definitely going to be hitting on that, man, and getting you guys to focus in. So, Carl, I'll call you and we'll get the slides ready. But I'm 100% going to teach on that. Real quick, Houston, we are coming that way, man. H-Town, you heard it. Super excited about that. We got all the crew coming, and that is July 9th. Super pumped up about that. You guys make sure you go get your tickets, etinspires.com/events. If you're in the Houston, Texas area, come out. It's going to be crazy. And then we're doing the next Thank God I'm Married tour stop August 5th in Miami, sunny Miami, Florida. Somebody texted me the other day, said, are y'all coming to Atlanta for the marriage conference? I don't know. But if I was you, I'd buy it, get on Expedia or whatever, Travelocity, and book a flight to Miami, man, and come have a good time with us down there. Also, Carl, is that it, Carl? What else do we got?
Just a cruise next year. She a little ways off, but
cruise,
you still
yeah,
want to
no,
get them pennies
She ain't
together.
I bought my flamingo.
She coming.
Did you see
Oh,
the
you got
shirt?
your
See?
flamingo
Did you
shirt.
see
He texted us a picture yesterday of a flamingo.
With the
But
button.
I'm telling you, I'm ready. My first cruise, so yes, come join us on the boat, man. We're going to have a blast. We're going to do some live podcasts.
Hey, you messed me up though, see?
Yes?
Because you said you're not bringing your kids. Josh said he bringing his kids, so I'm kind of torn.
Well, Josh kids can go to the bathroom by themselves. So I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking he could just turn them loose. My kids, let me tell you something, man. It was a rough week for me. My daughter, she got her first little whooping the other day. And it took a piece of my soul. Now, I didn't whoop her. You know, you know I didn't touch her. But her mom, she popped her on the hand. There wasn't no whooping, all right? She popped her on the hand. Because Avery is, she been getting in trouble a lot at school. So she's one. She's officially one. So I guess Candace figured she was one. She needs to start learning the difference. So she will go in on Trey. So she'll just grab his hair, bite him, pinch him, whatever. Like, she don't care. So she was like grabbing his hair. And Candace was like, let go. Try to move her hand. She reached back, grabbed it again. She moved her hand, reached back, grabbed his hair again. And Candace was like, pop. And she looked at me and just this little small cry. And a piece of.
Like, come on, get her off. Get her off.
Bruh. I'm talking about devastation. I was so hurt. My little baby, she's so beautiful. She just looked at me like, why did you let her do that? And I grabbed her up and ran. I was like, mommy is mean.
I remember them days.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something. With Trey, good morning. But with Lil Mama, wow, bro. Is this a similar experience y'all had to go through?
Hey, let me tell you something. Jalen took so many beat downs, bro. If he looked at Jay, I would beat him down. I promise you, bro. I look back like, okay, I still don't know if I was right or wrong, but I promise you I ain't let my son touch. Oh, man. Jada be like, sit down. Jalen would be looking at like, but you bet not touch her. I promise you, you bet not.
Period.
Oh, man, I had my man scared to look at her. And then mom's dukes. Yeah, we got into it a couple times, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, I really never spanked her until she was like a teenager, you know, and was kind of like, you know, I'm bigger than, her power had got low.
Oh,
she
no
had
doubt.
got the power
No
of the
doubt.
power, see? She had got the power, and I was like, okay, let me let you still know who got the power, though.
Go down.
Yeah, let me let you know.
Still go down.
Yeah, but no, I've been there, done that, bro.
I had to jump on.
Jalen got the beat down, but Jada, no, I never, me and Didi had many conversations on, that might have been too hard. You could have done it a different way.
Yeah, no, I had to jump on Jessie early. See, Jessie got she her mama child. Her mama is very independent woman. I don't need your help for nothing. Like, I don't need nothing from you. Like, leave me alone. And Jessie just, like, she got that spirit on her strong. So she want to do it her way. I'm talking about from early. So I had to start getting with her. At first, I was kind of hesitant. But then I heard E say what he just said, that he let Jada get away with a couple.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Jada got the power.
Yeah, I had to introduce her to myself a little earlier than I wanted to. So
no questions asked.
Yeah,
if I could do it again, I would.
Praise God for y'all. I promise you, I can't do it. Little mama, man, I'm talking about
No, I didn't do it until she was 15, 16, but I'm saying if I could change it, see, I would have probably started at 11 or something.
Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I told Candace, you gonna have to. Candace be so mad at me because I used to Trey used to be in the crib crying. I'm like, let him cry it out. I'm asleep.
He'll be all right.
And little mama start crying. I look at Candace like, you might want to get in there and get her. What you think, boy? She's like, you can let her cry. How come you let Trey cry? I'm like, I don't know. I got a problem. Like it is really a problem. I'm actually running drills in my house right now with Trey, teaching him to protect his sister. So we got this new drill we're doing where she crawls towards the stairs, and I lift the baby gate up and let her crawl towards the stairs, and Trey got to run to the stairs, stand on the stairs at the top, and hold her from going down the stairs. So I just stand behind her, and I'm like, don't let her fall down the stairs. And Trey's like, got to lift her up, and he's like, carrying her up the stairs. So we are in full training mode at the house for him to be the protector of his little sister. So with that being said, let's jump into Ask ET. Ask ET, as always, brought to you by BreatheUniversity.com. You guys come check us out. You already know what we're doing over there. Big things popping. We would love to have you over there. Got a special guest coming on the line this week. And just a great program, man. Listen, man, there's guys and people out there, man, trying to charge you thousands of dollars to be a part of a network or, whatever, man. We have, in my opinion, right, my humble opinion, the best program in the world, just in terms of the type of people that are in this thing, the network that you get, the accountability, right? Some of you got the gift in you. You've been supposed to write that book, lose that weight, whatever. Come join a community of people who hold each other accountable in a positive, loving manner, man. You want to get connected to this type of energy and this type of environment. So join us at BreatheUniversity.com. We'd love to see you over there. All right, let's jump into Ask ET. And let's see, we got a bunch of questions this week. Let me try to find some good ones. Nicholas in the UK said, what's your wife's biggest complaint about you? How much time you got?
Shoot. Right. Well, let me put her on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Dilcy? Is
That's a
Dilcy
whole
there?
new podcast y'all about to start.
Is Dilcy there? Can we talk about the clothes rack? Can we ask Dilcy?
Yeah, we had to catch her on the next one because she ain't here.
Okay, she
dipped out on
all
me.
right, yeah. No, I want to find out about the clothes rack. What is ET? What is your wife's biggest complaint about you?
Yeah, I'd say of the many, probably the biggest one is just
always
that work-life balance.
The biggest one is what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The work-life balance, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she retired, so it's kind of like you always on the phone, you always got a client, you always, got a podcast, you got the problem like it's every week, same time. Like it's always, you got the Thursday call, what's going on Monday, now you doing Monday, what's the game change, what's that all about? You know what I'm saying? So it's gotta be the work, life balance. And y'all know I ain't working 90% like I used to, but I think it's just her making sure she, what I'm saying, she have her territory type work.
Carl, what's Tamisha's biggest complaint about you?
She can't put nothing down in the house because so here's my disclaimer, because we are doing so much. We got a lot going on with work. my thing is, it's a spot in the house for everything. Just put it there when you come in the house. Your shoes, your
Me and
coat,
Carl
your
are
keys.
very much soul brothers.
I'm talking
when it
about
comes to
we
that.
right there with that. So if my wife will come in and I mean, again, it's my pet peeve. It ain't her. So she come in and just take her coat and just throw it over the
no
chair
doubt. No
or
doubt.
the bag and the
No doubt.
table or whatever. And I'm talking about, I'm about to lose my mind. So she will literally, so this is the one that she will say, like, don't move it because I could be going right back out. And I promise y'all, I can't let it sit there. So as soon as she put it down, I'm gonna grab it. Ain't no fuss. I'm gonna just grab it, put it in the closet where I know it's supposed to be, and she can't find it the next time she's trying to use it. I'm like, how you can't find it though? Like, you know exactly where it's supposed to be. But yeah, that's the biggest complaint, man. Like, I'm that neat freak. Like, everything got to be put up the right way as soon as you can.
I'm with you. I think it has something to do with us working at home too, Carl. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, probably.
Your workspace got to be, you know what I mean, conducive to productivity. I tell my wife, she does the same thing. She like kicks her shoes off in the middle of the floor. I'm like, boo, you actually walked past where the shoes go to get to the middle of the floor to kick them off. Like, I ain't trying to be funny, but it would have actually been easier to kick your shoes off where they're supposed to go. Anyway, we won't get into that. My wife's biggest complaint about me, probably the affection boy. Like, my wife is very affectionate. She like, yo, I came in the house and you didn't give me the biggest hug. Like, I have to work on that because sometimes I'm in work mode or whatever, and I'm still kind of, you know, she comes home now at different hours, and like, I'm not like dropping everything I do and being super affectionate like right off the cuff. So that's something that I always got to work on. So she'll be like, do you know you didn't really give me a hug? You just barely gave me a kiss on the cheek when I walked in the door, and that was it. So I'm constantly being reprimanded about my affection, but dear, if you're listening, I love you, and I'm working on it. So you know what I'm saying? Let me put that out there.
Yeah, no questions asked. Yeah, make the adjustments. See, no excuses.
I'm making the adjustment. I'm constly working on it. She'll tell me, like, at the end of the week, she'll be like, this was not a good week for you. I'm like, whoa.
The grading, the scale.
Y'all know Candace is not scared to speak her mind, so she'll definitely let me know. I give you about a 6 this week, so. Let's see. Shane in Toronto said, what is one thing that you've done for the company individually that you're most proud of? Payroll.
Obviously for me. Oh, no doubt. No, obviously for me, man, it's just Marshall and I were we're doing some transitions with the site. And Marshall was asking me this morning. Marshall's our web designer. Our graphic designer, guys, for those that don't know. But he asked me this morning, like, yo, how many videos are up there? And I just kind of looked. As of this morning, 979 videos.
On YouTube?
Man, on YouTube, 900. And like that's it, on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's not all the videos we've done. We got some on Vimeo. We got the ones in BU. We got like 300-400 in BU. You know, all the private stuff we did. So we've probably done 2,000 videos. You know what I mean? So. And for me, it's because that stuff it goes where we can't. You know what I mean? Like, the message is so powerful, but in the room, it's done, you know, once you leave. But that thing could go wherever. And now with everybody on social media, on the internet, like, we can get people access. You know, that's what we want. We want people to have access to know that you can have whatever you want. So that's got to be it for me, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, and probably just recently, man, have I really, you know, like, I guess had the time to stop and think about it. The Dr. Thomas album.
Oh yeah.
Man, people stop me. Like, that's the most talked about thing I think that, you know, we've ever done in terms of like what people say to me. You know, a lot of people now, man, shout out to everybody who comes up and shows love about the podcast, man. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast, which is like, obviously I'm, you know, on the podcast, so you guys talk about that first. But when people sit down and I actually have a conversation with them about like what the brand is about and what we do as a brand, the Dr. Thomas album always comes up. And I actually had lunch yesterday with like a pretty big music executive or manager kind of, you know, person or whatever. And I didn't even know that they listened to the album, and they were like, yo, that Dr. Thomas album is like flawless from start to finish, like every track, the way you put it together, and I was just like, wow. But a lot of people have been hitting me with that. And so I would say in terms of like a project that I worked on, I mean, of course I had help, but you know, that's pretty much, you know, the albums and the mixtape and stuff are kind of my babies. The Dr. Thomas album, I think it was not only the album, but I think actually getting his PhD after that long and that whole moment in time for our company and what we were doing is a special moment for me for sure.
So I came across that this morning too. See, real quick, going through iTunes, that was the favorite album of ours on our entire, like you search Eric Thomas on iTunes, and that was the most favorited item that we had on there. So absolutely.
Yep. So if you haven't heard it and you're sleeping under a rock, go download that Dr. Thomas album and the Resolution so you can get in shape. The Resolution, and again, it's so funny because people were like, yo, then I thought the Resolution was going, I was like, the Resolution was a workout album. It is a workout album. So shout out to everybody who's waiting on the Dr. Thomas album, the follow-up to the Dr. Thomas album, which I think I already said it, but it will be called The Prescription. And trust me, it's going to be legendary. Whenever I get to it, it's going to be legendary. I can promise you that. So, E, what is your single greatest accomplishment that you've had in the company?
Let me get one to the company first. And I think that's personal freedom. You know, we've created a type of company where, you know, people have personal freedom. Tay just recently, you know, they had a scare, thought moms had a cancer. And she was able to go home, go to the doctor's office with her mom, go through that whole process. One of her good friends lost her husband. She was able to, you know, not only have her come and stay with her, but took her with the family as well. You know, so just the personal freedom. You know, I heard Carl talking to Jordan earlier this morning to be able to have, you know, not have to, you know, for them, the parents are there, Tamisha, you know, not to be able to have them, you know, in a daycare. They decided that, hey, you know, we want to have him here with us 24/7, and to be able to have that personal freedom, to be able to make that choice, you know. So I'm most grateful for that, you know, you guys have homes, you guys have careers, you guys have, you know, financial plans, you know, whatever, as I'm hearing all that's going on in terms of the healthcare reform and all of that, you know, we put ourselves in a position where, of course, we'll be affected by it, but we won't necessarily lose, you know, our health care benefits. You know, so that I'm most proud of that. And then, like you said, C, in terms of to the world, the content that's out there that's helping people to get through, you know, divorce, get through cancer, or get back, you know, on their feet again, or help their families, you know, to go to another level, or connect with their children because they're all listening to, you know, the ET stuff. So for me, man, the content. Of course, I don't do videos, but the verbal, you know, pieces of that's what I'm probably most, you know, grateful for. You know, is all the content.
What's the best? Okay, but I want that's cool. But what's the best moment you had in ETA? Like, what's the best? Like, I mean, I'm just, and I don't know. Maybe it's not because we never had this conversation. Like, what? Like, think about Egypt. Australia tour, like, you know, going to speak for NFL teams, NBA, like going to Seinfeld. Like, what's the single biggest moment for you where you were like, whoa, like, wow, this thing is real, or I can't believe this is happening, or pinch myself kind of moment that you've ever had, like, individually in the company? I know that's always tough for E because he doesn't give a good darn about anything. He's always so chill and so cool about everything.
Yeah, they all are so, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying, which one of your children you love the most?
Right, it's so many.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what, the part I'm writing in my part of the book that I'm like reminiscing on, you know the first celebrity that reached out to us?
So it was either Tyrese.
Yeah, I remember Tyrese hit us up. Tyrese was like, yo, one of the first people, man. And I was just, you know, kind of writing about that moment in the book, man. So I don't want to give it away, but that was, you know, that was a fun time. I remember being like, yo, Tyrese sent it, man. I think he sent it on like Twitter or something, or Facebook or something. And we were like, yo, that's crazy. So anyway, E, just give us one. Humor us, will you?
Well, so let me say this. This is recent, though. So, of course, it has nothing to do with none of that. And, you know, you'd be like, okay, that's not NFL, that's not EBA. But, guys, one of the things that has blown my mind is that now there are people following us, you know, following the spiritual development pieces, and people have literally flown into Lansing, you know, to rededicate or dedicate their lives to Christ, you know. And so you talk about shocking, you know, okay, E.T. the motivational speaker, but people who are following the spiritual parts and like saying like, yo, I either want you to marry me, you know, like Josh going to marry Josh. That's real intimate, you know. And of course, I can't do it for everybody, see, but those few moments I've had a chance to like marry people who are part of our Breathe University family or part of our family, and then to be able to baptize people, like, is really something that's just like, just out of the blue for me. It's like I never thought that I would be so much a shepherd and I would be like so instrumental to people that, that they would start their spiritual journey, through the work that we do. Because that's not something that we put out.
Right.
We don't have that stuff like just out. So people have had to dig and find that kind of stuff. So
well, not if you're in Breathe University. You don't have to dig.
Right,
You can
right.
just
It's
open
there.
your computer. So if you're out there and you're going, man, I want to hear sermons. Listen, I tell people all the time. Like, people ask me, like, yo, what's the thing that most people would be surprised to know about y'all, maybe? And I'm like, yo, we have thousands. So if he ever does leave me and Carl, I promise you, we're going to eat for the rest of our life. Because we got
enough.
thousands and thousands of hours. I don't think people understand. He probably speak on average like 15 times a week. And we put out like a quarter of one speech. Like, so there is thousands and thousands and thousands of audio. He preaches every single weekend. So that literally is a sermon that we have for, last 10 years that we have.
Easily.
And we've probably put like, maybe like the Adele audio, still one of my favorite audios
3 minutes,
to this day, that we put out to the public. But we do share that stuff with our Breathe University family. So if that's something you're interested in, man, jet on over to Breathe U. Hey, how about that? Another plug for BU. All right, cool. Let's jump. How you looking on time? We got time? I know we're running a little long, but I got 2 more here. You want to do 1 or 2?
1.
Okay, no problem.
I'm already in trouble. I thought it was an hour show. Y'all into 2 hours now.
CJ in Atlanta said, "Where do you buy grape M&Ms?" No, I'm just kidding. Let's see.
Well, hey, you don't buy them. They provide them for you.
Oh, that's all I want to do is get to the level where I can give me some grape M&Ms. Because I love grape. I had grape Jolly Ranchers, all kinds of stuff, but never grape jelly. Eating grape M&Ms. Let's see. Y'all want to go with a serious one or a funnier one? Oh no, let's go with a serious one. That might be too deep. Hold on, let me not go there. Okay. Ian in Nashville said, "E.T., thanks for everything. Huge fan. Quick question. My wife has been working on in my business with me for the last few months. I thought it was going to be great, but so far that's not the case." And this is not funny, guys. He said, "It's actually straining our otherwise solid marriage. What should I do?" And he seems pretty serious. But dissolve the company, bro. Sell your share
for the sake of your
Sell
marriage.
your shit.
Go back and get a
No,
job.
my man's serious.
No.
Answer it quick, because I want to get to this other question real quick,
see,
too. I promise I'll make it quick, though.
Yeah, I think, for me, one of the bigger challenges is not you and your wife working together, I think when you're an entrepreneur, some people think that it's like willy-nilly, like all goes, and they don't set boundaries and talk about expectations. So for Didi and I, we both said like, it may not be easy for us to work together. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about it first. Like, what does the day look like? What are we expecting? You know what I'm saying? Like, when do we get alone time if we need it? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So I think for Didi and I, man, like, for real, we set some serious boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And our boundary, is there are times when she'll go shopping and she's like, yo, you could take me shopping, but when I get there, you know what I'm saying, that's just gonna be my time. And then for me, I do a lot of my business calls during the time, she's in the mall, and then what I'll do is an hour on the phone, I'll go in, spend about 15, 20 minutes with her, boom, go back, walk through the mall, talking on the phone. So I just think that he and his wife, before they dissolve it, is they do need to sit down and kind of talk. What's the expectations? When is our alone time? When do we work together? What should we be doing and what shouldn't we be doing? And I think if they sit down and put a plan together, it'll probably be easier for them to walk through it. And then get a group or like a couple that has been through the same thing and use them almost like, as coaches to help them when they have some rough spots, to kind of get through it or whatever.
Yep, got you. Let me get this one out the way real quick, E. Brandon said, "Hi guys, first of all, thanks for all you do and all the information you share on the podcast. You guys talk about being self-aware, finding that one thing you're good at, mastering that area. So what if someone genuinely has multiple areas of interest and multiple skills that they're good at, related or unrelated? How do you become self-aware and drill it down to a single focus? Or can someone be a jack of all trades and master of all? So, Carl, I want you to, I'll answer it first, but then, Carl, I want you to take it real quick. And I say, no, you cannot be a master of all, right? Because, again, if you have 4 different areas, let's say photography, web design, music, acting, that you're all interested in, the maximum, I know we do 120, but for the sake of math, we'll do 100%. The maximum you can give those is 25, 25, 25, 25, right? So what happens is the person who's putting 100 into photography, they're gonna blow by you. The person who's putting 100 into web design, they're gonna blow by you. Music, acting, those people will soar past you because they're focusing all their energy all day, every day on that one task, and they're gonna fly by you, right? Not because they're better than you, but because they're putting more time in. So that's why I always say, narrow it down to a single focus and work on that one thing, because what'll happen is if you got 4 things you're giving 25% to, you're gonna be average across the board. Now, Carl, as it relates to having multiple skills, which I think more so than me and E, you've been blessed with a myriad of talents. How do you find that, and which one to lock in on? And I guess you're better equipped to answer that than probably E and I are.
I'm hopefully this is not an oversimplification of it, but do the one that's most profitable first, because that'll eliminate a lot of the challenges that you have when you just do the one that you think is the one that you like, or, you know, the other one, you know what I mean? Do the one that can make you some money, get yourself in a position where you have the time and the flexibility to do the other stuff. So literally for me, I played instruments through college. Like, it was a weekend thing, so it didn't affect class. I couldn't do anything else. So I would spend time practicing the guitar, the piano, that kind of stuff. And every weekend I was playing at 2-3 churches, and that's how I made money, you know, to support myself through school. Then of course, I promise y'all, now it might have been, no exaggeration, it might be 5 years since I practiced an instrument. And I'm not trying to brag or anything. It might be literally 5 years, and I'm not proud of that. But that's just not what I'm focused on now. Now, well, it transitioned into the video. That's all I did, the videos, literally all I did. Now it might be a year since I've edited a video because I've moved on to other things. You see what I'm saying? So I do the thing that you need to do at that time that's most profitable. And when I say profitable, it may not be money. It may be time. It may be, you know, family moment, whatever. Like, do the one that works best for that time frame, that gives you your best return on investment. And then you can, once you can get past that, then you can switch to whatever else. You don't have to lose them necessarily. But at any point now, I could go take the guitar up if I wanted to put energy into that and do that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't lost it because I ain't do it. I just need to put more time. So just, yeah, that'll be my advice. Focus on the one that can give you the biggest return on investment the fastest.
Perfect, man. Listen, before we get that nugget of the day, man, go leave us that review on iTunes. Go give us that 5-star rating. I think we jumped up to like, what, number 12, 13, 14 or something like that on the iTunes charts, man. So you guys leaving us those reviews and rating the podcast and sharing it with friends is really what's taking us to that next level. You know, we're not stopping them. I'm not going to stop asking y'all for reviews until we get to number 1. Like, flat out. If y'all want me to stop asking you to give us a review, get us to number 1, and I promise you I'll leave you alone until unless we drop back to 2. Then I'll keep asking you. All right, E, get us out of here on that nugget of the day, man, and go spend the rest of the day with your wife.
All right, let's do this, though, C. Man, when you was talking about that Adele track, man, that thing hit my spirit, because I do know how many people were blessed by it. So if you don't mind,
you know I don't mind. One of my favorite pieces of audio in the world, the Adele track with the golf ball analogy, man. Take it to heart, listen to it, share it with somebody, man. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
And so when I started listening to Adele blew my mind, because as I was listening to her music, I could tell that this was real to her. And as I started studying the girl, I discovered that she had been through a breakup. Amen. And when she got in the studio, they said, listen to me, this thing is crazy. They said her album 21, like, she was started the album and stopped for months because she had no creativity, right? But then they said all of a sudden her man broke up with her. Woo! And not only did he break up with her, he broke up with her, got with somebody else, and got engaged in a matter of weeks. Wow. It broke her so much. God is so good. Sometimes he got to break us to bring the creativity out of us. Wow. He breaks her. He breaks her. He breaks her heart. And she goes into the studio. And when she goes into the studio, she just doesn't sing something she made up. She actually sings something that's true to her heart. At first, yep, she's gifted. Yep, she knows how to write. But it was kind of in the outer space. But then something happened to her. Something broke her. And when that thing broke her, something within happened to her. At first, it was just external. But then something internal happened. And Sister Girl got up and said, take me in the studio. Turn on the music. Play the music. Turn on the sound system. Put my headphones on. I got something for him. And she sang it like she never sang anything else. And let me tell you something. Out of that pain, out of that hurt came the best album, the best single, the best song, and 6 Grammys.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul.